All right, so I played a warrior deck. Hope's Merchant's Hood, fine. Again, just a card that can do something. Iron Rod Gauntlets is just a defense. Refraction Bolters is the warrior equipment that came with the warrior starter deck. Seems really good. I didn't get to use its defense because I had to use it early to get Centauri Saber off because I didn't fully understand the deck. And then Heartened Cross Strap with this deck was basically a blank. Should have considered that equipment. I played 2 Centauri Sabers. I don't think I fully understand how to benefit from Dorinthea with Centauri Saber. Should have stuck with the Dawn Blade that came with her. Would have been a better fit.
Right, it's like a bigger number.
It's a bigger number, and if I was going to get second weapon attack, like it's going to get permanent counters as long as it keeps hitting. So just attacking with it repeatedly, getting and hitting with it, it keeps building up counters and gets stronger and stronger and stronger. So
yeah, that seems way better than whatever you're doing.
I agree completely, but I thought that what I misunderstood about the cards here was because there was a lot of cards that are like, if this is the second time you attack with a weapon, like push forward and hit and run and all those things seem to indicate I was going to be able to adequately create 2 attacks a turn.
Right, but you get to do that with her thing, right? Like,
well, no, because I don't get go again on any of those weapons.
Well, what I'm saying is that, like, you still could have played Dawnblade and theoretically, like, jumped into the same pool, right? Because she lets you attack twice.
Correct. Yeah. So I should have just stuck with the.
So you were like trying to go for the 3 attacks and just never going to get
Correct.
there.
I was thinking that it was going to feel more like Ninja, right? Where you would just you would somehow get good attacks, like extra go again attacks, and hit and run is the only card in the deck that'll do that. So let me break down this really quick: reactions and actions, generic instance. And I really decided to kind of dive into the deep pool on reactions in this deck because I thought that might be a way, from my experience, very limited experience so far, it just felt like it might be a way to get damage through, and ultimately it was how I won the game. So I do think that it does do what it says it's going to do, but it is tricky because I don't think you want those reactions to cost a lot. You can't really afford to have expensive reaction cards. I still think that holds true. I'm not sure I would put anything that costs on a reaction card that costs more than 1, and even that might be too much. I mean, I think it depends on what the card does, and so I think Razor Reflex is a good example of like a good one here. So let me get to that point so we can talk about it. Action, defense, reaction. Okay, so just really quick, I just played the 3 Steelblade shunts for my defense reactions. First off, defense for 6. Like, this card's just insane.
I think you cheated me with this.
Why?
Because you're not allowed to play these from your hand. Like, well, you can play from your hand, but you can't play them for free. You always have to pay for defense reactions.
Yeah, it's a reaction card, so I probably did cheat you. So I still think this is a good card.
Seems fine.
And it's worth 1 point. And if you do successfully defend a weapon attack with it, it hits back for 1. I do think against Ninja, it's not as powerful because Ninja's weapon attacks are small.
Yeah.
But it probably against things like Brutes and Warriors.
Like, potentially the Ninja attacks are like 4 or 5, and then
from the blades.
Not from the weapon.
Yeah, but like, this has to be a weapon attack.
Oh, it has to be?
Yeah.
No, you can block a regular attack with it.
It still defends a weapon attack. Yeah. No, I can defend a regular attack, but I'm just talking about like to get the card text to trigger.
Oh,
I think it's better against
like minuscule, but
sure,
6 defense is pretty big.
Yep. I do play 2 generic instants that are just target defending attack action card gains +4. Just felt like if I needed to use a regular action card to defend. A 0-cost instant to get up to 7 defense is probably pretty reasonable. Again, not knowing you were
like seems good.
Yep.
I don't know.
So I did play 2 on those because that's what I had.
It's just like discard a card for defense. Like,
so let's break down these cards really quick here. Stroke of Foresight, Iron Song Response. Okay, so. Iron Song Response is warrior attack reaction with reprise. It says the defending hero, if the defending hero is defended with a card from their hand, this chain link target weapon gains +1 attack. So it was triggering. It was basically giving me an additional +1 to the attack in certain circumstances, because it was narrowed down to just if they defended with an attack action card. A lot of times it was just a 3 resource card for me in this deck, but could have extra value. It's not a ton, but it does give you that sort of extra push through. Stroke of Foresight is same thing. Attack gets +2, and then if they defended with a card, +2 or +3 depending on which version. If they defended with a card, then you get to draw a card and put a card on the top or bottom of your deck, which I liked.
That's a strange ability that we've seen on several cards.
Like just the cycle.
But it's not even like cycling. It's like brainstorm.
Yeah, it's fine.
Putting on the bottom is very similar to cycling, but like I wonder what you're trying to stack them for. I guess things like Flood of Force or whatever.
Well, and also the other one that allows you to put a card into your arsenal. So like you could stack the right card for, I guess, a card to go into your arsenal. It seems really situational. I don't think I understand fully how to leverage that ability yet, but I mean,
it's interesting that it's on like several cards and cards in different classes.
Correct. And then the last one was a generic attack reaction, which is Razor Reflex. This came out of the starter set. I think this is a really good card. It costs 1. This is not a card that has multiple versions, so it's just the reds only. And I cheated you because I can only play 2 of those. So
wow,
that's wonderful.
No wonder you won.
Yeah, because it was such a blowout, right? But Razor Reflex is target sword weapon attack gains +3 attack, or target attack action card with a cost 1 or less gains +3, and if this hits, this attack gains go again. This is interesting to me because there are a lot of attack action cards in Warrior specifically that have no attack cost. So in theory, I believe I could play hit and run, react to it, and give it a 3 attack.
I don't think that's true.
Why not? It's an attack action card.
This is just an action card. It is not an action attack.
Okay, I'm wrong. Makes sense. Okay, so...
But yeah, this card does seem good.
It has 2 modes of power that seem reasonable. And then Overpower is target weapon attack gains +4. But this costs 3, so this was the most expensive card in my deck. I only played 1 copy of it. I've ended up pitching it as a defense card because there's just very little time to...
That doesn't even seem like a great rate.
It's not. I mean, you're essentially for...
I guess it gives +6 because you can play it situationally after they've blocked.
Right.
So maybe that's good. I bet that I don't know. That seems pretty expensive because...
It's a one of... There was 1 in the base set. I was looking to fill a slot, obviously.
How do you even pay for that? Because you only have 4 cards in hand, so
you have to have a 3 resource card to pitch, right? So you basically what you have to have is pay 1 to attack. So you spend 1 card from your hand to attack. You attack with if it was a Dawnblade, I would attack for 3, right? Or 4 base or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's probably fine if you have lots of resources in your deck.
I think it gives you the opportunity to smash, but I think this particular deck, I don't have enough 3 resource outputs to make it matter. I played 2 energy potions because getting 2 resources on board seemed maybe okay for a deck so that I could play more of my hand without actually pitching cards.
All the potions seem pretty good.
Yep. But I just never... I didn't fully understand them, and I didn't really have time to set up in this game. I wanted to keep pressure on you. So that's the reaction set. There was quite a bit of reaction stuff in this. It obviously works pretty good. I don't know what I will replace for Razor Reflex in a Blitz deck, but I'll find a card and put it in the deck list. So... probably just play another blue resource of some sort. So, Warrior's Valor, Nature's Pilgrimage, Sharpened Steel, Dauntless, Nature's Pilgrimage, Sharpened Steel. Push Forward. Did I put Push Forward out yet? Nope. Okay, Sharpened Steel, Hit and Run, Push Forward, Warrior's Valor. Scour the Battlescape. hit and run, push forward, hit and run, push forward. So I played the complete set of hit and runs. Well, I played 5. I didn't play both blues. I felt like in hindsight, I probably will play just another copy of hit and run because it is what turns on a number of these secondary attack abilities where if it's the second time you attack with a weapon, get some value. This card seems fine. It's whatever. I think it's very rare that you're going to get a double hit and run where you're going to get like attack with a weapon, go again, and then get the second trigger to get off for another +3 off of it. But if you can, great. It's a 0 cost action across all 3 levels. So, I mean, in theory, if you have 2 cards to pitch and 2 hit and runs, then you can get it done, right? Or if you have a 2 cost card, then you can double hit and run that way. Played on the Dauntlesses, which I think maybe in retrospect, this is situational because it requires a defense reaction card. And so
it's still fine.
It's still fine. It's just a +3 attack for 1 resource, but I mean,
it's a +3 attack that like protects you from somersault or whatever.
Sure.
And that's it. But it's still like that was like the one that did the most damage to me, right? That one and this one.
Yeah. Not Sharpened Steel. Well, maybe Sharpened Steel, but anyways, yeah. So I played a 4 of this. Maybe it's worth to go up to the second yellow copy. Played 4 copies of Push Forward, 2 yellow, 2 red. This card seems really good. I probably would consider throwing the blue into this, especially if I'm going up to the other copy of Hit and Run.
Right. It seems like, if you're trying to play a bunch of cards in turn, which I don't know if that's what Warrior's supposed to do, but maybe they are, like, you're not attacking a bunch, but you're still just like giant growth attack, right? Like,
right.
That's like your play pattern.
And then I played 2 generic Scour the Battlefields. I just wanted to see if this card was any good.
I played that card too.
It seems fine.
A 0 that has go again.
Yeah, I mean, it seems fine. Like, it is what it is. This was the only card I guess I could have technically hit with. One of the only cards I could have technically hit with the armor, but it already has go again, so it didn't really matter. I guess it does matter because you have to play this from your arsenal to get go again, and I wouldn't have to do that with that armor. I could just play it straight from hand. I played 3 Sharpened Steels, blue and 2 reds. I don't think I have other ones. I think that's what came in the base set, but I'd probably add the yellow versions of this because +2 go again seems really solid.
Right. Again, you're just like kind of mimicking the ninja, but instead of attacking multiple times, you're just like
building one big attack.
Yeah.
Yep. Nature's Pilgrimage was something that I was interested in. It's a 1 cost event. This has also, if this hits and you have no cards in your arsenal, reveal the top card. Seems fine.
The arsenal card thing, like because I was playing a couple of those too, the Scavenge the Battlefield and the Promise of Plenty or whatever it is, like it draws you a card sometimes. Like
Warrior's Valor, I played 2 of, again, situational. If it hits, you get go again. This is one of the other few outs for go again, so I'd probably consider others of these to support off of the attack reactions, because I do think attack reactions is how you can get damage in, like you were saying with the Lance.
Right, with Lunging Press.
Yeah, Lunging Press. And is that a generic?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think Warrior wants to have a handful of good actions and a bunch of reactions to those, but I don't know what the proper makeup is.
Well, your slow actions and your reactions essentially do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just like whether or not... I mean, I think that the slow actions are probably better because they seem to be more powerful. Like, I know that this is kind of a gotcha, but like, I just had this in hand 3 times during the game, and you blocked for like 3 more than I attacked for, so I was just like, oh, well, I guess I never get you.
Yeah, I do think that's a real potential possibility with reaction cards in general. So, I think obviously there's a whole bunch of cards that I'm sure would make this deck.
Right, there's like 10,000 cards that we don't have. So
right, yeah. So
not that many.
Based on just the Crucible of War set and the starter sets, I think the Warrior's fine. I mean, I think it sends a lot of damage out and puts a lot of pressure on your opponent to defend. And if your opponent can't defend that, then the game's going to end pretty quickly. But it does have that sort of difficulty of pushing through to the end at the end, just like we've seen with a number of decks. And I'm sure that I saw that also on the Blitzathon.
Well, yeah, you eventually have to protect your life total, and when that happens, you're just playing like a 2-card hand every turn,
Right.
and that becomes much harder to fight through because
Yep.
like